Hello, I'm back. It's been a while. My voice is getting better. It's slowly getting better. It's been about 6 months since I had the injection done, and hopefully it's supposed to last. You know, if it starts to go away, then I might have to have another injection done, which I'm hoping I don't. But yeah, life goes on. I've been trying to figure out what to do now, so that's been fun. You know, surgery, it happens. I thought I would delve into the emotional aspect more today, because I got into it a little bit last time. You know, you can get depressed, you can get sad, but it also does something to you when you go through something like this. I'll start with when I was 13 and I was diagnosed with Marfan's. I didn't think anything could happen to me. You know, when you're that age, you think, I'm impenetrable, I can do whatever, you know, I'm young. And, you know, even when they told me I had Marfan's, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, oh, I have a heart issue. I have to take this thing called beta blockers. So, yeah, from the age of 13 on, I've been taking beta blockers, and then they always said, someday you're going to have surgery. We don't know when. And I remember my heart doctor telling me, if you ever feel really weird, if you ever feel like something's wrong, then, sorry, my dog's bothering me. Leroy, stop. Then you should go to the hospital. So at 22, something did happen. I felt weird. And everybody has different problems, and everybody feels different about it. So just know that if you ever feel like something's not right, that your body will tell you, and you'll feel it. I don't know how to explain it, because not everyone's going to go through it the same way I did, but I felt like someone was squeezing my heart really hard. And then I lost vision, and I just felt really wrong, and I was hurting, but I think I have a high pain threshold. I don't know where this came from. I always kind of had it, but I just know that it was bad. What I was feeling was not normal. I couldn't see, my chest hurt, and then when they took me in the ambulance, I realized I can't lie down. That really hurt to lie down. So going through all that for the first time was not easy, because they rushed me into this hospital. First of all, they told me that I was probably fine. They weren't very good at this hospital that I first went to. And it wasn't until like a couple hours later, when they were about to let me leave, and they decided to do a CAT scan. And then they thought, oh, your aorta split. You need surgery. We're going to send you to Emory, which is a much better hospital. So thank you. I got reassurance that I'm not crazy, and there was something wrong with me. Turns out it was something really scary, and I could have died several times. So it's a good thing I got to go and get all this done. I'm very thankful for it, but it did change me. I became mortal. And I know that's a silly thing to say, but you always think of yourself as immortal when you're a kid, and you always think, nothing's going to happen to me, I'm fine, I'll live for a while, I'll live to be 100. And then something does happen, and it scares the ever-living shit out of you. So that's what happened to me. And I lost part of myself, I guess I would say. Not to get too wordsy on you, but I just started to feel like I'm not immortal. I'm mortal, and I could die any moment. This could be the end of me. It might be. And I had to face that. And that's really hard to face when you don't think that you have health issues, or you just don't want to think that you would. And then you have to realize that there's something in your body that doesn't really want you to live forever, and could eventually be the end of you. So I had to face this big thing, this big elephant in the room. I had to say, oh, I could die. I could die tomorrow. I could die in 20 years. I could die, I could live to be 100. Yeah, maybe. With the right medical marvels going on. I mean, my valve is supposed to last many, many, many years. I've had it for 10. So, yeah, I could live to be 80, 90. It could happen. But I could also die at 60. I could have another aorta split issue. They've repaired much of my issues. Like, I don't think that it'll split again. But I could have something else go wrong. Because Marfan's is unpredictable. It's weird. Like, I saw a thing the other day about a guy, I forget his name, but he was a dwarf. And he was an actor in the 80s. He was on an episode of Golden Girls. And I looked him up, and he was a dwarf with Marfan's. So it was a really weird case because towards the end of his life, he started to rapidly grow. It was almost like the Marfan's decided to kick in towards the end of his life. And as a dwarf, you're under 4 feet, however tall he was, and he started to grow. I don't know how tall. I tried to look it up. Somebody said 8 feet, but I don't see how that would be possible. Maybe he grew like another foot. That's what I would assume. But either way, it caused him to have heart failure. And I think he was like 46 when he died. So he knew when he was born that he was a dwarf. He knew that he would have issues his whole life. And then bam, he has another issue on top of that. So I guess what my point is, we're all human. Anything can happen. And when something like this happens to you, when you have to have surgery, when you almost die, even if it was something like a car almost hit you, or you were in a car accident, or something random, I don't know. There's so many things that could happen in this world. But my point is, it does change you. It makes you think, life is short. I have to do things with my life. I can't sit around and be pointless. And so that's why I get on myself when I'm not doing anything. I try to make myself go out, be productive, even if it's going and drawing a picture or taking my dog for a walk. You know, it's just life. You take it for what it is, but it affects you when you almost lose it. And now that I've been through this 3 times, it makes me even more different than I used to be. I face mortality every day. It's like death is standing behind me, if anyone else understands that. And it's not like I'm scared of death. I'm a little bit. Everybody is. But I know that it'll eventually come. It's not something that I'm in denial about anymore, but it also kind of sucks. It's kind of like when you find out that Santa Claus isn't real. And I'm sorry if someone's watching this and they just found that out. Really sorry. But hopefully I'm not doing that to somebody. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of like when you lose your childhood innocence, which can be traumatizing for some people. It changes you. You have to be forced to be an adult, and being an adult, not so great. Being a kid was fun. You got to get away with a lot of stuff, and you had friends that were really easy to be around. It wasn't like weird tension. I'm kind of rambling, I know. But my point is that when you go through something like this, you have to face it, and you have to be an adult, and you have to grow up. So my way of facing it was to almost grab a hold of all my old childhood innocent things and try to keep them nearby. I mean, I wasn't going to be delusional about it, but I wanted to keep my innocence. I wanted to stay a kid in some ways, but I also knew that this force was behind me forever until I go. So I just had to be different, and it's hard to face that when you have friends who haven't been through it, or family members, because not everyone's going to understand. That's just something you have to face. Not everyone is going to get it. they're all going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. La la la, this is my life now. And they don't see that you're hurting, that you realized life is really short and it could be over. So you have to kind of hide it sometimes, but you also have to face it. And that can be a really hard mixture. So some people might see that you're different because you face this big elephant and it's not backing away. It's not. It's there. I keep using metaphors. Hopefully you guys are following. But yeah, going through this makes you different than other people, but you already are anyways, because Marfans, it is something that makes you different. But you embrace the difference. That's where I'm getting at. I had to learn to embrace it. I had to learn, yeah, these bad things can happen to me. I can lose people. I can lose myself. But the thing is, I'm still me. I'm still here for a reason. And whether or not you believe in a higher being or whatever, maybe you don't believe it at all, but the universe wants you here. If you get my drift. You're here for a reason. I hope you understand that. Maybe it's not a higher power reason if you think that, but it's something. You serve some sort of purpose. And you have to keep telling yourself that, because otherwise you're going to go crazy and you're going to just drown in the sorrow. So when you go through an illness, anything, or an accident that makes you see this kind of side of things, you have to get past it, but not entirely. You have to get through it, but still see it in your rearview mirror. You have to live your life, but not forget why you're here and how you got there. You have to go down this new path, but you can't forget about the path that you took that was behind you. More metaphors, sorry. But face it, it's there. And it's hard because when you go through it, you feel alone. You do. But there are other people like me and you, and there are other people out there who've gone through this. They just might be harder to find, but they're there. You just have to look for them. And if you really can't find anyone else who's been through something like this, find it yourself. Find it in yourself, I mean. You can be your own hero. You can be your own strength. Sometimes you have to be. I lost a lot over the years. My body kind of attacked me in some ways. It kind of let me down in other ways, but I had to get over it. I had to live my life. I had to figure out what I had and what I didn't have and go on with that. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Believe me, I don't have all the answers. I wish I did, but I don't. But the thing is, you're not alone. We're all confused about why we're here and why certain things happen to others and not to us, and why some people are sick and some people are not, or some people get in bad accidents, or some people never have anything happen to them. I mean, there are some people like that, I guess, but I don't know. It's just something that you have to learn to live with. And I know that it can be tough facing that mortality for the first time. I faced it more than 3 times, actually. I've had a couple other issues. I could delve into it later. But my point is, you can't hide from it. And I guess that's what I wanted to get to today, is that some days you feel like hiding from it. Some days you want to face it. And that's okay. You can do either. But ultimately, you have to face it. It's just part of life. And it's going to suck sometimes, and sometimes it's going to be really great. But part of having an illness like this is that you learn and you grow. And luckily, a lot of this happened to me when I was younger, so I was able to use it as I grew up. I don't know what kind of person I would be if I hadn't had all this happen to me. I'm not really sure I'd want to be that person, honestly. I don't want all of this to have happened to me, but I don't not want it. I guess what I mean is I wouldn't take it back. It sucked, but it made me who I am, and that's somebody. I'm still learning who that is, but I get to because I'm here. That's part of it too. You're here. So if you're about to go through something like that I did with the heart surgery and the Marfans or anything like that, just know that you'll get through it. And if you don't, then there are other answers. Maybe you don't believe that, but I do. So, I'm talking, you're not. But yeah, there's other ways of finding your answers. And you're not alone. You're not. We're not all walking around alone. We're all trying to figure this stuff out. So that's what I wanted to say today. Hopefully I wasn't too much of a rambler, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. If not, just don't watch it. But either way, I hope I left you with some sort of message of how life can be one big mystery, but part of the fun is figuring it out if you like mysteries. Anyways, thanks for listening.